1 News, ABC 7 Eyewitness News at 7. Start streaming now.
On this hour of Eyewitness News, the city of Nashville coming together to honor the victims of a school shooting as we learn new information about the timeline of what happened.
Plus, as the Chicago mayoral runoff election nears, we're talking to the candidates about the issues that matter to you, including how they'd spend your tax dollars.
And later on tonight, we are speaking to the owner of a new Chicago restaurant that was just nominated for a James Beard Award.
And Governor Pritzker unveils the coolest thing made in Illinois.
Wow. That's a good tease.
It's cool.
Plus, after some light snow today, we are watching the chances for severe weather that is forecast for later on this week. Thank you for joining us, everybody, on this Wednesday night. I'm Cheryl Burton.
I'm Rob Elgis. We begin tonight with the latest on the Nashville school shooting. The community coming together for this vigil tonight in honor of the victims.
I'm grateful to live in this city. I'm grateful for the resilience of this city, and I have no doubt that we will stay strong and get through this together.
First Lady Dr. Jill Biden was there earlier today. The First Lady visiting the site of the shooting, looking at the flowers and memorials outside the school. And tonight, we're getting a more detailed timeline of that shooting.
And we're also learning more about the shooter and victims. ABC's Rena Roy has more tonight.
Rob and Cheryl, 2 days later, the community is still trying to make sense of what happened. The tragedy is renewing calls for gun control as we learn more about how this all unfolded inside the school. New details in America's latest mass shooting. ABC News obtaining an investigative breakdown of what happened minute by minute at the Covenant School in Nashville. At 9:53 Monday morning, security cameras capturing the shooter Audrey Hale entering the parking lot. A few moments later, Hale messaging a former basketball friend from middle school on Instagram.
The messages reads, "I'm planning to die today."
At 10:10, Hale, armed with 2 assault-type guns and a 9mm pistol, breaking into the private Christian elementary school through a locked side door. 3 minutes later, police were alerted, releasing dramatic body camera footage of their response.
Kids are all locked down, but we have 2 kids that we don't know where they are.
They entered the building with the school sirens blaring, going door to door, clearing classrooms.
Sounds like it's upstairs.
Then realizing the shooter was in a second-floor common area.
Reloading!
Killing Hale, who police say once attended the school, though law enforcement officials have not identified a specific motive. Authorities say Hale was being treated for an emotional disorder, but was still able to legally purchase 7 guns. Nashville Police Chief John Drake on CNN.
The parents felt like she should not own any weapons. She did have one weapon that they encouraged her to sell, which she did. Law enforcement was never contacted.
House Democrats calling on Republicans to introduce bills banning assault weapons and requiring background checks, though Republicans say the main issue is the suspect's mental health, not guns.
It isn't the gun, it's the shooter that's the problem.
President Biden has once again renewed his calls for gun control and has expressed his frustration with congressional inaction. In New York, Rena Roy for ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
All right, Rena, thank you for that report tonight. Back here at home on this Wednesday, you can see flakes were flying earlier today, some snow showers.
How about that? Weather could be dry, should be dry rather, for the Cubs home opener tomorrow, but then we're expecting several rounds of storms on Friday. That's a nice look.
But what is that right there? Let's say it together.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We need this sunshine. It felt good, but still chilly. Meteorologist Cheryl Scott joins us with the ABC 7 AccuWeather forecast. Now you're looking ahead. Oh, I see it behind you. Friday.
Wow.
We got to keep our eye on that.
Yes, the potential of some strong to severe storms. That is looking more likely here as we go into the next 48 hours. But Friday, we have outlined a slight to enhanced risk of severe weather here across the area. So everyone in yellow, that's a 2 out of 5 on the severe weather threat scale. But off to the south and west, an enhanced risk here for LaSalle. Down towards Livingston, that's a 3 out of 5. So a better chance of some stronger storms developing back to the west. And threats, damaging winds, even tornadoes in the forecast potentially, as well as some hail hail and heavy rain. So as we take a look at futurecasts, tomorrow morning we start off very cold. We're down into the 20s. Into the afternoon, we do see these temperatures climb, responding to winds moving in from the south. Highs in the 50s, some showers developing late, passing to the north, looking like we'll stay dry closer to the Lake Wrigley Field. But it's going to be cold with temps in the 40s for the game, feeling like it's pretty much in the 30s. Now, as we go overnight Thursday into Friday, some isolated storms developing for the morning hours on Friday. Brief downpours, some small hail, looking to stay below severe limits. But into the afternoon, our severe weather parameters increase here across the area. Some stronger showers and storms developing after about 2 o'clock, and then another round very late in the evening after about 6 o'clock. We're looking at the potential of a strong line here of discrete storms moving in, and this is where we could find some damaging winds as well as a tornado threat. So more on this, what to expect behind the storm system into the start of the weekend as well. Back to you guys.
Very concerning, Cheryl. Thank you. Chicago police investigating after thieves robbed 5 7-Eleven stores in the early morning hours. One of those stores was in the 3700 block of North Broadway. There were 4 others at locations around the city on the north and west sides. Police say the thieves took cash registers, and in one case, they also stole a customer's Jeep. 7-Eleven said in a statement that the company is working with police.
Man's been charged with robbing a Fifth Third Bank in the Loop earlier this month. Remember, a security guard was shot and wounded during this holdup. New images of the suspect were included in court documents today. You'll see this in a second. According to the FBI, the suspect, Jawad Hakim, spoke to someone outside the bank at Wacker and Madison shortly before the robbery. And investigators say Hakim gave that person his phone number, and that person passed it along to a law enforcement tip line.
And charges have been filed in the shooting that killed a driver on the Stevenson Expressway last month. We talked with a woman who was in a car with her husband and 2 young children when they heard gunfire. Moments later, she realized her husband, Humberto Marin Garcia, had been shot. 22-year-old Nicholas Zamudio is now charged with first-degree murder. Police say they identified him using surveillance video. We still don't know what might have motivated this killing.
Now to the Chicago mayor's race, Brandon Johnson picking up the endorsement of presiding Bishop Drew Sherrod, who leads the 8 million member Church of God in Christ International. And Paul Vallis hosting a private meeting with supporters today at Manny's Deli. As the April 4th runoff approaches, we're looking at the different topics that matter to voters.
Well, that includes how they manage city's finances and budgets. Our Sarah Schulte sharing the very different plans.
Both candidates claim they can balance the city budget without raising property taxes. Paul Vallis says it can be done partly through savings. Brandon Johnson's plan includes a series of tax hikes on the rich and big businesses. Police, fire, schools, parks, garbage pickup, and snow removal. The country's 3rd largest city has a $28 billion budget to cover it all, and it's controlled by the mayor.
I know how to manage multi-billion-dollar budgets, and the first order of business as mayor will be to go in and to look at those budgets holistically.
As Mayor Richard M. Daley's former budget director and CEO of Chicago Public Schools, Paul Vallis says his expertise is finding savings and efficiencies. But some experts say Vallis may have a tough time.
Mayor Lori Lightfoot and her economic team did a really good job of squeezing waste out of city government. There's not a lot more to be saved.
Vallis's plan also includes creating a budget watchdog committee to reprioritize how the city spends its money. He says property tax revenue dedicated to tax increment finance districts, known as TIFs, should be freed up for other purposes.
You're diverting $1.1 billion in property tax revenues to projects for which there is very little oversight. And that program is producing hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars in surpluses every year.
Vallis and his opponent, Brandon Johnson, do not intend to raise property taxes. But Johnson says his plan does include several other tax hikes to increase revenue.
I don't know if there's any other mayoral candidate in the history of Chicago that's been willing to put out a balanced budget plan before they're even elected.
In his $800 billion tax plan, Johnson proposes bringing back the city head tax, where large corporations who do most of their work in the city will pay a $1 to $4 tax for each employee. Johnson also pitches increasing the hotel tax, jet fuel tax, a tax on securities trading, and increasing the transfer tax on property sold for more than $1 million.
All of that gives us the opportunity to eliminate the structural deficit, make the critical investments without raising property taxes.
Johnson insists a city income tax is not part of his plan. And while Vallis says the budget can be balanced from within and Johnson says it can only be done with new revenue, the nonpartisan group Truth in Accounting says it will take much more than what the candidates are proposing to solve the city's economic problems.
We've determined that the city owes $38 billion of debt, and that is increasing every single year.
The other big challenge for the next mayor is funding the city's over $2.5 billion pension payment every year. Vallis and Johnson say they are committed to paying the bill even during bad economic times. Sarah Schulte, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
All right, Sarah, thank you for that. Very interesting and important work there. Voters in Naperville also choosing a new mayor on Tuesday night for the first time in 8 years. That race includes a longtime public servant, a local businessman with a familiar last name, and a woman looking to break barriers. Mark Rivera went to the suburbs to speak with all three of the candidates.
The two leading candidates in this race say it's a choice between a longstanding public servant who currently sits on city council and a first-time candidate with business acumen and longstanding community ties. It's a tight race between Councilman Benny White, potentially Naperville's first black mayor, and longtime businessman Scott Worley, according to the latest polling, with both candidates emphasizing their focus on reducing crime as the city's first new mayor in 8 years.
We're used to having 200 to 250 people on the hiring list. The latest list we have for our police department is down to 17. We've had several lateral transfers that have come in from Chicago, something that we traditionally haven't done.
Worley touts his experience as a part-time Park District police officer for decades in the western suburb, experience he says White lacks.
That street experience of knowing what our police officers are going through is a huge distinction between me and the other candidates. And there was a riot 2.5 years ago, and some of these folks, they talk about that riot like it happened 2 weeks ago.
White takes umbrage with casting him in that light and says he served in the Army and on the Public Safety Board for the city.
There's no truth to it.
Both candidates want to bring in new business to the I-88 corridor to help fund Indian Prairie District 204 and the city. White trying to tap into city diversity when planning new business growth.
Me being a candidate for mayor is a testament to how this community has grown. One of the reasons I'm running is because I want us to embrace the great diversity of this community.
Worley saying his experience as a business owner employing hundreds will win out.
I've got this unique perspective on what other owners and CEOs want. And that separates me from other candidates running for office. I can actually have those conversations with those folks.
Tiffany Steffen says her candidacy got off to a late start after challenges to stay on the ballot. But public safety, affordable housing, mental health, and economic stability are her platform.
I want to make sure that we have the tools to have diversity, equity, and inclusion for everyone.
Election Day is this coming Tuesday, April 4th. In Naperville, Mark Rivera, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Mark. We'll have the results of the Naperville mayor's race, the Chicago mayoral race, and all the big races in the area. It's on election night, less than a week away. You can watch starting Tuesday night at 7 right here wherever you stream. We'll also have updates on TV with full coverage on Eyewitness News at 10. Hope you can join us that night.
Yeah, we will be there for you all night long. Well, for the first time ever, the FDA has given approval to make Narcan available for over-the-counter. The medication can help save the life of a person experiencing a drug overdose. Narcan rapidly reverses the effects of an opioid overdose, including situations where fentanyl is involved. Today's decision will allow grocery and convenience stores to sell the medication directly to consumers.
Anything that we can do at the policy and system level to make naloxone, or trade name Narcan, more available and accessible is a great thing for overdose prevention.
And Narcan is expected to be available for purchase by late summer.
The Vatican says Pope Francis will be hospitalized for several days due to a respiratory infection. Pope appeared at his regularly scheduled audience today, but the Vatican says he's been experiencing difficulty breathing the last few days. Vatican says the Pope does not currently have COVID, and the Pope will need several days of medical treatment. He had been scheduled to oversee Palm Sunday services this weekend.
A Chicago man is free after spending 28 years in prison for a double murder he did not commit. Today, the Cook County State's Attorney dropping charges against David Wright. Wright was 17 years old when police arrested him back in 1994. He was sentenced to life in prison. Wright says Chicago police officers coerced him into a false confession.
And if we hear on the credibility of dirty police, what about the rest of them guys that's locked up with these same police on that case? And if these police been known for over 50 years, and Chicago have known this for the last 2 decades, what's taking so long?
Wright will now pursue a certification of innocence. As for the murders, they're back to being a cold case.
Groundbreaking ceremony for a redevelopment site in Bronzeville. This morning, city leaders officially launched the $3.8 billion Bronzeville Lakefront Development Project. It's at the old site of the old Michael Reese Hospital. Plan is to repurpose the land to be used for a mixed-use space where people can live, shop, and work. Expected to bring 10,000 new jobs to that neighborhood, full-time jobs. Project's expected to be completed by 2035, but it's underway.
It looks like it's going to be incredible. What a great investment here in the city, for sure.
The location's phenomenal as well. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, the votes are in. Yes, you counted. The coolest thing made right here in Illinois.
And Governor Pritzker announcing the winner of the 2023 Makers Madness competition earlier today.
The coolest thing made in Illinois, 2023, Rosenberg Moon Habitat Ingersoll Machine Tools, Inc.
Oh, can you imagine?
There it is. I had no idea this was even a thing. Ingersoll worked with a company in Switzerland to create the 3D habitat designed to house humans on the moon. It's like a little apartment, Cheryl.
Ooh, that is fantastic and fascinating.
I wonder if they would actually use it, if NASA's working with them.
Like, how long can you live there? And it was created by 3D.
It looks
I mean,
like
they're
it.
making 3D food, now 3D apartments. You can live on the moon.
Well, not quite yet, right? But maybe someday.
Have they tested it? Like,
right.
how do they
we
test
gotta get
it?
back there first, right? I mean, we're working on that. Hopefully, NASA pulls that off in the next couple
Maybe
of
they'll
years.
have a separate spaceship to carry apartments so we can stay a
I don't know how
little
you
longer.
get it up there. Maybe that's what you build it up there. You just gotta get up there first.
Do they have TVs in the apartments?
Right,
And,
it'd be
like
hard to get
lights
Wi-Fi. I
and
don't
air
know.
conditioning? Oh.
Congratulations
That's
to
really
Ingersoll.
cool. Yeah, well done. Just, can you believe hearing your name coming out of the governor's mouth? Like, we won. All right. Well, just before opening day, we have a celebration of a baseball broadcasting legend. That story is just ahead.
Cheers. Plus, Chicagoans honor Vietnam veterans. Hey, hey. Annual celebration of the life and legacy of Chicago broadcasting great taking place at Navy Pier tonight. Baseball Hall of Famer, you saw Ryan Sandberg and others leading the 25th annual Toast to Harry Carey celebration of the Cubs and White Sox broadcaster's life. That started after his passing. Oh, here we go. Oh, they're singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." He passed away in 1998.
I should have brought my glasses down. I've got my holy cow glasses.
Right.
Yeah, the big fun ones.
Oh, I remember growing up with Harry.
Yeah.
And Steve Stone, who's still calling games for the White Sox.
And I worked there at Wrigley Field, so.
Back in Harry's younger days.
Right there, back in my younger days. That's on my bucket list. I would love to do the 7th inning stretch.
I think they should have
I think we should.
10 o'clock team.
You did it?
No, we've talked about how that would be. But remember when Cubs games were on our air?
Yes.
And then it was part of that process. They wanted us to go in and talk during the fifth inning.
7th inning stretch.
No. They would have us go in with Len Casper, and then we would do like Q&A.
Did you guys do that?
Yeah, twice. It was like a combination.
Did you do it, Cheryl?
Great.
I think you did.
I didn't do it.
You didn't do it?
No.
I had just gotten here, and I don't know if it was part of it, but it was kind of embarrassing.
That's why your negotiations.
Right. No, I got railed on social media. Cubs fans are like, "Why is Rob Elgas in the booth during the 5th inning?" Like, they were angry.
What were you talking about? Your childhood memories?
Yes,
or something?
it was like it was a cross promotion thing, and then they hung.
My memory is.
You did it. So 2 times they did it, and both times they did it.
Thanks. At least they remember.
He is the boss of her.
Right, but no, I remember you doing it. Both, because I thought it was ridiculous that we had to do it. Both times that I did it, the opposing team scored like 5 runs in that inning.
Yeah,
so then it's longer. You stay until there's 3 outs, and I was getting railed. But the second time I did it, they won the World Series.
Come back. Oh, you did it on the World Series?
No, they lost the game I did, but they won the World Series that year.
I'm like, wait, they had you
some kind of
the
credit.
final game of the World Series?
I mean,
it was like the.
But you've never sang the song.
Never did, but
All
it was in the booth. Sorry, I
Right.
completely because I'm
you
with you.
sidetracked. That's
right, but
okay.
if we did it as a team, I wouldn't sing. I would let you two sing.
We could harmonize.
As a team,
we would
should
sound
all
great.
Exactly.
sing, 'cause we
And-
all can't sing.
I would, no, but combination we could. JR probably can too.
Right, he
and then
thinks
we'll
he
just
can.
sit there, and I'll
Yeah.
go like this with the mic, and you let them sing.
Yeah,
and you
same.
guys would crush
No,
it.
you'd have to do it. I think that would be so much fun. That is on my bucket list, and to throw out a pitch, the first pitch.
I can't believe you've not done
I've
that
not done
either.
either one of those. Yeah. And I'm born and
I
raised
have
here,
done
and I
the
worked at
first
Wrigley
pitch,
and
but I did the
Comiskey.
first pitch when I first moved here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cubs or
I
Sox?
wasn't here yet.
Not. I mean,
I think you should do both.
I would love to. I'm putting it out in the universe.
We've done that before.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not-
definitely like to sing it.
It would be fun.
You want to do it solo?
No, do it together.
Right, do it together. I think it would be so much fun. We got a whole, are you ready for some baseball? Because we got a whole, 162 games.
It's a long time. It's a lot of
I feel like we
games.
could fit into one of those.
I know, you think, yeah.
Yeah, I'd be all for it, ladies. I just root you on because
And that game, you throw out the first pitch.
Right, throw out the first pitch and then go up into the booth and then sing the 7th inning stretch.
We just need a night off.
Right.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Be prepared to be
Is anyone listening?
be heckled and hazed, whatever happens, because people are really like loyal
Yeah,
to
and
their
social media,
Cubs.
people can react in real time.
They beat me up.
Well, also when we were doing it, they were so good.
They were good.
They were on
It's
fire.
not that game.
Okay.
Yeah. Not so good this year,
right.
maybe.
Yes. Holy
Oh,
cow.
man.
And it was. And two.
There it is.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good,
Yeah,
Cheryl.
okay.
That was in his a couple Budweisers in. Those games
I'm telling
were.
you, I'm going to find my video of me with the big glasses
Okay,
on.
Rob, send out a tweet right now.
Yeah, to the
Dear
Cubs.
at Cubs,
I
the
could tag
ABC
both of
7
you.
Chicago 10 p.m.
They'll
News
block
team
me.
would love to sing the 7th inning stretch.
But we could be their good luck charm.
I wasn't.
You know what?
Yeah,
See?
you two could be.
But as a group, we could be. See, there's, beauty in numbers.
This is not the year to do it though, because they're going to be terrible.
They've
Well,
got
there's always a
162
time to do it
games.
again.
Right.
Yeah,
Right, I know. Well,
Thanks,
I-
Rob.
I've
Just,
not
yeah.
invited
Thank you,
ever
Michelle,
again,
our
Michelle.
producer, for
Well, we-
reality check. Okay, well,
Same
Cheryl,
right.
let's talk about the weather.
Well, we do,
tomorrow
because
for
the
opening
game is
day.
tomorrow, and then severe weather is Friday.
Right.
Our best chance is the two of you. I'm telling you.
Well, let's not forget a few years ago when they had to postpone the home opener because it was snowing.
Right.
So we
Yeah.
don't have that happening.
Yeah.
Could be
Sometimes
worse.
snows in April. That's what Prince says.
Yeah, optimistic.
Sometimes it
Sometimes
snows
the sun.
in
See, this is
April.
what you could get, Wrigley.
Wait, what's the sometimes the snow comes down in June?
That's
when
Vanessa.
it snows in June,
That's
if it ever
Vanessa
does.
Williams.
Which I don't
Yeah, Say
think
the
we've
Last
had
Dance.
accumulating snow
But Prince
ever
says
in the
it
month of
snows in
June. But if
April.
it does, we're going to blast that song. Anyway, we're going to skip a day, guys, because into Friday, we do have to take this seriously because we have a severe weather threat that is shaping up across a large part of the country. We are included. We're looking at several rounds of showers and storms on our Friday. Severe timing between 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. We're looking at damaging wind gusts and also a tornado threat across the area. Right now we sit at 34 degrees. It's going to be a cold night. Winds out of the north and east. Temperatures beginning to drop below that freezing mark already along the lakefront. We have mostly clear skies, a few clouds back to the west. The system that moved through this morning is off to the east of us, and we're going to see this cold air just settle in overnight with temperatures dropping into the 20s. And the next storm system is taking shape there off the coast of California, and this is going to push inland and move west to east across the country, really ramp up during the middle of the day tomorrow, middle of the country, and then into our area on Friday. So for the Cubs home opener at Wrigley, you're going to want a lot of layers. We're going to have southeast winds, so we're going to have influence off of the lake. It's going to be cool throughout the game. High temps only in the 40s. It's going to feel like it's in the 30s. The potential of a few sprinkles late, but not really looking at any weather to impact the timing of that game. A few passing showers possible at best later in the afternoon and evening. And then our attention turns towards Friday. And you can see there's a large area here, expansive across the middle of the country, including the upper Midwest, but stretching all the way down to the south. Now that zone that we're looking at, a better threat or a greater likelihood of severe weather, is just along and west of I-39, but that also does include LaSalle and Livingston counties just to the south and west. That's level 3 out of 5. So scattered strong storms likely to develop to the west, and then everyone else in that slight risk. That's 2 out of 5. And this could change just a bit over the next 24 to 48 hours. We're still a few days out here from this storm system, and it is just now pushing onshore off the coast of California there. So for our Friday, keep in mind everyone under a severe weather threat. Damaging winds and tornadoes will be the main threats because of the instability and the wind shear in place. And boy, is it going to be windy Friday into Saturday. So for tomorrow, we start off dry in the 20s. Here come those showers later in the afternoon, passing to the north of I-90 and I-88 there. Temperatures climbing into the 50s, cooler along the lakefront. And then overnight Thursday into Friday, a few scattered showers here beginning to develop. Anything during the morning hours could bring gusty winds, brief downpours, and some small hail. Looking to stay below severe limits. Temperatures soar into the 60s. We're going to have high gusty winds and then 2 rounds of afternoon rain and storms. One during the early to mid-afternoon. This looks to stay below severe limits as well. But later in the evening, just out ahead of the cold front, we're looking at a round of storms, a line of broken cells to move through between about 7 and 11 p.m. There you can see, pausing this at 9 o'clock, the potential here for a strong to severe storm to develop. Damaging winds, very heavy rain, and the chance of a tornado cannot be ruled out with the storm development late Friday. And then we turn much cooler behind that system with the threat of some snow. So heads up on Friday. We do have all severe weather modes on the map, and again we'll continue to monitor this as this storm takes shape as it moves west to east across the country. For tonight, temps in the 20s. Into the day tomorrow, cooler by the lake, showers late mainly north. By Friday, there's an AccuWeather alert. 64 Saturday, cold start, but by Sunday we get our temperatures back on track, even warming above average and staying that way into next week, but more active weather possible as well. Back to you guys.
All right, Cheryl, thanks so much. A historic day for Illinois Vietnam veterans. Lawmakers voting to make today Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans Day in our state.
March 29th marked the day the final United States combat troops were withdrawn from Vietnam in 1973. Stephanie Wade was at a ceremony along the Riverwalk here in downtown Chicago.
At the Vietnam Veterans Memorial at Wacker and Wabash, those who fought in the war held a wreath-laying ceremony, honoring those who gave their lives to this country.
And we were the lucky one. We got to come home. The names on that wall are the guys that, that's why we do this here.
Nearly 3,000 of the 58,000 United States Armed Forces members killed in Vietnam were from Illinois. Their names on display, each veteran taking turns passing the microphone, saying the names aloud of their fallen friends.
The camaraderie is there, the friendship, just knowing that what we went through and came home.
Charles Padilla and Baron Buchanan grew up together on the southwest side of Chicago and both served in Vietnam.
Got to the age of 17, 18 and our drafts came in and we ended up all going into the service.
We can all relate in a certain way, by just being there, and it makes a difference. It keeps us closer together.
Carlos Saladino was one of the more than 300,000 soldiers wounded in the war. taking time today to reflect on the young lives lost.
I turned 19 years old when I was over there. And so that life that was lost then, and then I see myself now, I'm 73 years old, and how I've got my 4 children, I've been married to my wife, I had a good job with the Chicago Police Department, met so many good friends, and what they miss.
I'm just, thank God we made it back.
In the Loop, Stephanie Wade, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Glad those guys are sharing their story.
I know. I'm just getting emotional and chills. I mean, what a beautiful tribute. And you know very well.
Yeah, my dad was a veteran, Marine Corps Captain James Elgis, fought in the war. It messed him up, like a lot of guys. You know, they fought and they stood there bravely, and then they came back here and were scorned and ridiculed. And that we've talked about this on this show. It's changed so much when whether you agreed with the Iraq War, you know, when those men and women came back, they're heroes. They're fighting for our country, and there was such a dark, turbulent time for this country, and we didn't support our troops.
Yeah.
And it's just, as an American, it's disappointing and heartbreaking. But you see, we've tried to make it right over time, and
your legacy right here, sitting right here.
Oh man, I'm not the man those guys were. Yeah, those guys were not. I mean, that was next
bravery,
level.
Courage, and we always say thank you for your service and sacrifice, because it was the ultimate sacrifice for some of the people. I lost my cousin there. He was only 19 years old.
They were just kids.
Yeah, they were just children, young teenagers.
And they came back forever changed.
Yeah.
I'm glad we did that story.
Yeah, thank you again. So I really enjoyed that. Stephanie, thank you for your storytelling today as well.
Well, coming up, Damar Hamlin heads to Washington. The law he wants to see changed following his on-the-field health scare that you saw on ABC 7.
But first, is Starbucks trying to prevent more stores from unionizing? The company's former CEO denies the claims on Capitol Hill today. That story is next.
Prayer vigil happening right now at Chicago Police Headquarters for Adam Toledo. 2 years ago today, the 13-year-old was killed by a Chicago police officer following a foot pursuit. Toledo's mother was emotional as she spoke about her pain.
I know he wouldn't like to see me like this, but I can't help it. It's hard, it's difficult not seeing him every single day, every minute.
And body cam video showed that Toledo had dropped a handgun just seconds before the officer shot and killed him. However, Cook County State's Attorney Kim Fox said there was not enough evidence to criminally charge the officer.
The former CEO of Starbucks says accusations that the company is illegally engaging in union busting are not true. Howard Schultz testifying during a Senate committee hearing today. He told the committee that workers have the right to unionize, but that the company also has the legal right to prefer maintaining a direct relationship with its workers.
We are 100% committed to fulfilling our obligations as an employer under the National Labor Relations Act
and are committed to good faith negotiations on first contracts for each unionized store.
A federal judge has recently ruled that Starbucks has engaged in egregious and widespread misconduct. Some of the Senate committee agreed. However, Republicans generally praised the company for creating jobs.
Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin wants to see AEDs in schools.
These kids represent why we are all here today. As I was growing up playing football, I don't recall ever thinking about CPR or knowing where an AED was in my school or on the athletic field. But for those of you with children who play sports, I'd imagine your experience was similar.
Look at those young men with him. Hamlin joined lawmakers on Capitol Hill today to highlight a bipartisan bill. It would extend access to automated external defibrillators and increase CPR training. Remember, Hamlin suffered cardiac arrest during a Monday Night Football game back in January. He survived after receiving immediate medical care. And the American Heart Association says 1 in 300 young people has an undetected heart condition that puts them at risk. He sounds and looks incredible, and he's now spreading awareness.
You know, having a life purpose after what happened, after his life almost ended. And he is a walking miracle. Every time you look at him and all the medical help that he got early on and very quickly, it really made a difference. And I think that was his little brother, his 8-year-old brother, who was by his side, too.
You remember the days after. We did a lot of stories here on the 7 and include with the American Red Cross talking about CPR. We learned how to do it to the beat of your favorite song, Staying Alive, or different songs to work on how you know how to give that rhythm, because it's fast. And AED is obviously a huge part of saving lives.
The spokesperson right there for him telling his testimony.
It works.
People, we hear you. Say his name for sure. All right. Well, a luxury plug-in hybrid.
Well, I'm electric. You said you're going to go hybrid, and this is.
Let's head into the market. Right. Our expert, our resident expert.
Oh, there it is. That's your car.
Now that, well, okay, that looks gorgeous. Okay, we got to talk about this because I don't know if he would get a hybrid.
That one I would, but wait till you hear how much it costs.
Oh, okay, because I was thinking birthday present, holiday gift, anniversary, you know. Okay, we'll talk about it. Plus, Germany is welcoming the royals in the accent.
Excellent. Go.
Celebration.
I missed it.
Surrounding, King Charles and the third's first state visit. We'll be right back. King Charles III is on his first official state visit as monarch. The King and Queen consort Camilla attending a state banquet in Berlin this evening. Early in the day, the royals were welcomed with military honors at the famous landmark Brandenburg Gate by Germany's president and the president's wife.
Okay.
Very nice.
They look very stately.
Yes.
It may be the ultimate luxury plug-in hybrid. Lamborghini's unveiling its new sports car with 3 electric motors plus a V12 gasoline engine. So that gives drivers 13 different driving modes to choose from. Not 12, You get 13.
Okay.
The car is called the Revuelto. Lamborghini has not revealed a price, but says plug-in hybrids will cost significantly more than the cars they replace. So what was the one it would replace, perhaps? Well, the last V12 the company released cost $500,000 bucks.
Okay.
So you could expect it to be a bit more than that.
Do you know anybody who owns one of those?
A Lambo?
The 12.5 million.
The V12? No.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody.
Can you pick your color for that much money?
I would think you could. Yeah, they do have some cost. I don't know if Lamborghini does it. Yeah, you can pick your color, your interior. You should be able to.
Right, for that price. Do you know what Revolto means in Italian?
I do not.
Okay, I was just checking because I know you're the expert in
not in
hybrids
Italian.
and electric cars.
That thing's cool. And what it will do is give torque to really fly off the line.
0 to 60 in
would be
2 seconds.
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
And then the V12 kicks in and off you go. Oh man, it'd be awesome.
Right, maybe drive it around when they come here in June for that NASCAR.
Chicago Auto Show. Oh, NASCAR. I think it'll be in either one. That would be awesome, though.
He's there. Chicago restaurant being nominated as one of the best new restaurants in the country. That looks like artwork. Well, by the James Beard Awards, we are talking, yes, we have the owner of this restaurant right here in our State Street studios on this Way to Go Wednesday. Yes, delicious. That looks so pretty and good. We'll be right back on the other side of the break with
We are looking also at a threat of severe weather late week into the day tomorrow. Cubs home opener. We are looking at highs in the 50s. Cooler along the lakefront, though. It's going to be a chilly, raw day for baseball. Friday, rain, some strong storms. AccuWeather alert. Temps in the 60s. Crashing temperatures on Saturday with a rain snow threat. We'll talk all these details coming up.
Oliver. Oliver. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hey Rob, how's it going?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Thanks
Oliver.
for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Pleasure.
Appreciate it. Sounds good. Poileve.
Poileve.
Yeah, Poileve. Very nice. Poileve.
Poileve.
Poileve. It is, yes.
And
yeah.
Obelix?
Obelix.
Obelix.
I like the vegetables. Yeah.
Chicago restaurant is being considered one of the best in the country.
Right here in our city and right here in our studio. Obelix, located at 700 North Sedgwick, is James Beard's latest nominee, the owner, Oliver Poileve, joining us tonight. So we're going to learn French and we're going to learn about French food. Welcome to the Hour of Power, our stream team
Yeah, it's
here.
a pleasure, man.
Yeah, congratulations on this Way to Go Wednesday. So tell us about this fabulous restaurant. I went to your website. Ooh, you have snail. So you have that on the menu.
We do have that on the menu.
Yes.
Yeah, I got the whole artwork is what stuff we have on the menu.
Right, let's talk about it then. All right, Oliver.
So we opened about a month ago, or not a month ago, in May.
Right.
So we have been open for about 10 months now. French restaurant, we do some classics, but we also try to keep it a little fresh. We have a lot of different, people on our team, so we have a little bit of more modern view of what French food is. So Yeah, we have still some traditional stuff though, but yeah, we like to keep it nice and fresh.
And tell us a little bit about that menu. So do you come, is it something that changes weekly, or how do you come up with such a complex menu with so much wonderful food?
Well, it all starts with the products. Once we get products, we try to keep it pretty seasonal. So once we get the products in, we'll start the creative process of how we're gonna, put that into a dish, how we're gonna, kind of put our spin on it and stuff like that. But we try to, let the products speak for themselves, but also show a little bit of technique, a little bit of personality within the food. And our chef's Korean, our pastry chef is Sicilian, so
I love that.
those type of influences find their way on the menu too. I love Asian food. I also have a taqueria, so I do some Mexican food too.
Okay.
So yeah, it's all kind of a little mishmash, but rooted in French.
So you and your brother are the owners of this restaurant. So do we go back to our childhood making, cereal for breakfast and then adding whipped cream and making it some fancy dish, and then you put it on your menu when you open a restaurant? Because this is a very difficult field to own your own restaurant.
Yeah, no, it's hard. We were lucky because both of our parents were restaurateurs and chefs as well. So they showed us the ropes, and we grew up in the restaurant. So, it was kind of an easy transition for us, kind of all we know in a sense.
So you didn't eat hot dogs and French fries growing up? You had
no, we still have
crepes and things like that.
No, I love hot dogs, so yeah, I did have crepes. It was a nice mix of both. Yeah.
How hard is it to stay relevant and successful? I mean, this is a great city of cuisine, as you know, some of the best in the world, clearly by your nomination. But it's such a restaurant business is so difficult, and so many people fall and fail. How have you been able to avoid that?
Well, it's right now it's easy. I mean, at least we can be open now. The whole time during COVID where we couldn't be open, and we were dealing with all that. That was really hard. But now it's we just try to go in, we try to have fun, we try to cook food that we would like to eat in a restaurant. We're very hospitable, so we love hosting people, and we just basically, I know that sounds like easy, but there's a lot of things that go wrong every day. Freezers, like the other day my freezer broke, and we had to take all of his food from the freezer from this restaurant to that restaurant. So there's always different challenges of every day, but it keeps it fun, and we just try to, at the end of the day, we want people to leave happier and restored than when they came in. And we just try to do our best to make that happen. There's a lot of little things that go into that, but
So you're being celebrated yourself. You like to make people happy, but you learn you're a James Beard nominee. Where were you? Who told you? What was your reaction?
My brother called me this morning. I was actually pretty shocked. I know we were semifinalists, but I was like, oh, okay, we'll just get that, and then that'll probably be it. But to get the finalists is really an honor, and there's so many other great people that are nominated too that I'm very feel very humbled to have our name next to theirs. And
it's got to be cool. So many people are going to see this. Just a nomination in itself. People, I want to go eat there. How hard is it to get in?
Well, we're new friends.
Yeah, right. That's right. We're new buddies.
This is his first television interview since he's been nominated.
No, you guys can
time now.
You guys
we got to get that cell phone number.
She's going to give it to you later.
Anything, I'll bring you down to the kitchen table.
Oh man, but it's hard. I mean, is it hard to get in, or what would you recommend? Just people if they want to come.
It's kind of we're booked about a month out right now, so it's not too bad. But we are open for brunch, and brunch is pretty Saturday through Monday. We're open for brunch, and brunch is kind of open, like it's not as booked as dinner is. And then we're always open for walk-ins at the bar every night, so whoever wants to come in, and it's usually not the 30-minute wait if you want to come sit at the bar, so
all right, so before we go, we just need to know what's your favorite items.
Oh, it's a good question.
What are your favorites
on the menu?
Sure.
Well, we have
French, if you can do it.
Okay, so I really have this. I love this squab tivier. Do you guys know what squab is?
I saw that, and I had to
like a fancy
research
pigeon.
It.
It's not like the pigeons that are flying around Chicago.
12-year-old duck.
A lot of them.
No
shortage of those.
No, I'm not like getting those in front of the menu.
Right outside our windows, right? A pigeon of all things.
To him.
No, but it's a fancy. It's white. It's a white pigeon. It grows up in farm and it eats good food, and it's really delicious. And so we make a little called a tivier. It's like a French pie, almost like a meat pie, and we put foie gras on it, squab breast. it looks like just a pie when you get it, but it's like takes so much work to debone it and do that. And then we serve it with the sauce Perigord, which is a truffle sauce. So that's one of our more classic.
Sauce. I bet he's got everything on the menu on his arms.
Yeah,
all of his tattoos are food.
Yeah, it's my way of honoring the animals.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Oliver, thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having
best
me.
blessings
Appreciate
to
it.
you
It was
too.
a pleasure.
And,
Thank you.
Best of luck.
So we mentioned some other
Right.
recipient awards nominations. We want to show them to you real quick here. So Emerging Chef for Virtue, Damar Brown, and Arts Outstanding Hospitality, you see there. And then CPO already had a Michelin star rating. I think we have one more page here, so I guess scroll, but they'll take it. Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
Best Chef category is Diana Davila from Mi Tocaya and Tejeria. Also, Tim Flores and Jeannie Kwan for Casma.
I went there 2 nights ago. Amazing.
Amazing. So you all know each other, right?
Yes,
You all know each other.
It's a small world.
And they all celebrate each other and just trade out restaurants and recipes, of course.
We have a kitchen in this big studio, Oliver, so next time after you win this thing,
yes, I'll bring
the
pigeon.
pigeon for everybody.
Truffles and
not Chicago pigeon. This wonderful delicacy. It was really a pleasure to have you on the show.
He has a very finicky palate, so I don't know.
Anything he makes. I'd even eat Brussels sprouts if he made them, and I couldn't.
Because he won't. All right, the winners are going to be announced, and we know the names that will be said in June. You heard it here first. You know, this is Stream Team. Your phone's going to be ringing right now.
We gotta go.
All right.
Forbes releases its list of the highest paid entertainers for 2022. That story's ahead.
Plus, of course, Taylor Swift hits a career high on the Billboard charts. Let's see if Rob Elvis' name is on that entertainers list when we come back.
I'd buy that Lamborghini if it was. We'll be right back. You know, Oliver said he grew up watching you.
I know, right?
That's pretty awesome.
He said I was his hero.
You are a lot of people's heroes.
I'm good to go. Whatever y'all say from now on. It just,
That is Wednesday wisdom right there.
It is, yeah.
It's way to go Wednesday. And you know, y'all make fun of me. This one right here. He just told you who I was.
I grew up watching you too.
Okay, I'm
We're
done.
like this. Well, no.
Oh my gosh.
We're the same age.
It's pretty darn close. Forbes released its annual list of the highest paid entertainers today.
It is all based on how much they made last year. Coming in at number 3, yes. I watch everything he has on television and at the movies. Tyler Perry earning $175 million last year thanks to his movies, TV shows, and his production backlog. Now, you know he had his first play here in Chicago on the South Side at the Regal before.
Yes.
He was homeless, living in his car.
He's doing all right now.
He still has that car. In second place, Sting earning $210 million. He sold his music catalog. That's why. Last year, pocketing $300 million. That was before the fees. And then what top spot?
Genesis, $230 million, but it's also thanks to what you're talking about.
Right.
A $300 million music rights sale. The only newcomer to this list this year.
Ooh, Bad Bunny. He's on the cover of Time magazine.
Making some money.
Yeah.
Coming in at 10.
People like him a lot. He was here this summer at Soldier Field.
Yes. It was a big show.
Yeah, he's kind of dating one of the Kardashians, Jenners.
There we go.
Yeah,
Wait, did you know that too?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can be my new Kardashian correspondent because I know the new
I've
show.
only because I've seen it on social, not because I watched the show.
It's okay. Yeah, we don't. The information
Not
is
saying I
there.
wouldn't watch the show, but I have not watched that show in a long time.
The new season is coming up too soon, right?
All right. We don't know if he's in it, though.
Okay.
But it's on Hulu, so watch it.
I don't know about nothing. Yeah. Taylor Swift was the only woman in the top 10, and it's thanks to sales of her old albums.
yeah.
Yes. In fact, she's got 7 albums in the top 40 of the Billboard 200 albums chart. For the first time in her career, only one other artist has done that in the last 60 years. Boom.
Of course.
Whitney Houston, following her death in 2012. You guys were talking about singing. I had the greatest love of all coming in on my car. Well, I have this time capsule feature on Spotify. So it reaches way back into some random stuff. Genesis actually popped up too, and then Whitney. And I was thinking, could I sing
that's
this?
That's the remake. George Benson originally made that with his guitar, The Greatest Love of All.
I was hitting notes, Cheryl.
Go ahead, let's hear it. You've got.
I don't even remember.
That's Phil Collins, right?
Yeah,
Phil
yes.
Collins so
they had
It's on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was, but they had a bunch of great songs when Phil spun off into his solo career.
He just announced he wasn't touring anymore, right? This was like his final tour.
Getting up there, yeah.
You know, that's really wonderful. And that makes me happy that Genesis, the old school music is still trending and doing well. So.
Yeah, and that list, the whole list surprised me there. I
Taylor
would have never
Swift
guessed.
is boss.
She is.
I mean,
she's incredible.
Can't touch her.
The best writers in the business.
She's still
She'll go
doing it.
down for sure.
She's coming here in what, August,
Icon.
Michelle?
May.
May?
May.
June.
Oh,
June. Are we going?
I thought it was
Tickets
May,
are like,
for sure.
so Michelle's a big fan. $700 last time you looked for decent seats. Ridiculous.
Yeah,
She
we're
said
going to get
ridiculous.
Michelle there, but she said Lady Gaga, she was more of a favorite, and she saw Lady Gaga at Wrigley.
Yes, you could go, but we just got a pony up.
The Swifties. So
My brother actually got
he
scored
got
tickets
On the-
on
when they had the whole
Thursday,
Ticketmaster
for
snap?
Philly,
Right.
and he invited me.
Wait, when is it?
Philly?
When is it? Do you have
In
vacation?
May. It's this
May.
thing called
That's what I was thinking,
Sweeps.
May. Wait, is it on the weekend though, Cheryl?
It is, yeah. I'm
Okay,
gonna
we're
see
going.
if I can make it
We're
happen.
going.
Make
You
it
can just
happen.
Go in.
Got like 6 tickets that day.
Wow,
That
and
doesn't
you're
happen to
going.
anybody.
Ooh.
No, I'm like, you should play the lottery.
Cheryl loves Taylor
My
Swift,
little
too.
nieces who are obsessed with Taylor
Ooh,
Swift.
yes.
So
How old are
Go,
they, Cheryl?
and then that Monday we
Like
can
12
recap
and-
it. We'll put them on TV.
7,
Okay.
6.
Yeah. Okay,
All right.
weather. We're
yeah,
gosh,
we got
this
some
show flew
serious,
by, ladies.
serious
Couple
weather
quick things here
concerns
from
coming
Cheryl,
up in the next 48 hours.
Yeah,
Cheryl.
I mean, tomorrow we're pretty quiet. Winds will start to pick up, showers possibly late, but mainly dry. Friday is our AccuWeather alert day with some strong storms, and then Saturday is just going to be miserable. All right, here's a look at a live look outside right now. We sit at 32 degrees. Temperatures currently low 30s. It's going to be cold overnight. Temperatures dropping to the 20s off to the west. Here's the storm system developing that's going to be moving west to east across the country, eventually bringing us our rain and severe weather threat. But for tomorrow, mainly dry. Temps in the 40s. I mean, not a terrible day. We've had snow on home openers before. Not looking at that. Temps in the 40s. But it's going to feel like it's in the 30s. And then take a look at this large area. I mean, millions of people under the threat. This could be just an extreme tornado outbreak across the country on Friday, and we are in the zone from slight to enhanced. Off to the west, I-39 is our greatest likelihood of seeing some tornadic activity, but we can't rule out damaging winds, tornadoes, and hail with any storms that do develop on our Friday. So for tomorrow, much of the day looking dry, and then as we head overnight Thursday into Friday, showers will start to develop, even an isolated storm, and then it's really Friday afternoon and evening, things will get going. So as I advance this futurecast into the afternoon, we're going to see some strong storms developing after about 12, 1 o'clock, and then later in the evening, a line of some discrete supercells possible, and that's where we could find some damaging wind gusts as well as some tornado potential. It's not out of the question.
Let's hope not. Yeah. We'll take a quick break and we'll end the show right after this.
A fun show on this Way to Go Wednesday.
Again.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Stay tuned and make sure you join us at 10 over at ABC 7. Cheryl has an update on the severe weather headed our way. Good night.